What's going on, everybody? It's episode 60 of the Audible Farm podcast, and this episode is brought to you by Couchtown Coffee. I know everybody likes to fast forward through the intros. I don't know how many people are doing it, but if you haven't been here before, Couchtown Coffee has been with us for a while. They've been helping me out, getting the word out there about podcasting and this podcast, and it's pretty much everything music and entertainment related. They've been fueling me on the go with their delicious coffee. So I want to say super shout out to Couchtown Coffee. If you've never checked it out, I highly suggest it. Go to facebook.com and then look for Couchtown Coffee, or go to www.couchtowncoffee.com. They roast coffee beans and they will send them to your house. You can have coffee at your own house at your leisure and make it yourself, and it's amazing. It's easily the best coffee I've had shipped to my house, and it's the best coffee I drink currently, I guess. Like, I don't really drink a whole lot of other coffee other than maybe if I'm on the road and I go to a gas station, then I'm just kind of like, this isn't Couchtown. So check Couchtown Coffee out. Go to their website. You can find the Our Coffee section on their website, and it'll have a list of all the coffee they have available at the moment. You can make an order, and because Couchtown Coffee is so awesome, this week they're offering a promo code, and you can save 20% on your order. That's correct, 20% on your order at couchtowncoffee.com. All you got to do is when you make an order, just mention Uncle. Just mention Uncle. That's going to be like the code word, I guess. Just Uncle, or tell them the Audible Farm podcast sent you, and then say, I listened to the episode that said Uncle. And I'll save you 20% on your order. Hard to beat that. It's pretty wild that a couple of grassroots campaigns, kind of like the Audible Farm podcast here and Couchtown Coffee, have teamed up, and Couchtown's even offering 20% off their goods. So it's highly suggested you check it out. If you drink coffee, everybody drinks coffee anyways, but if you drink coffee in the morning, check out that Couchtown Coffee. Go to www.couchtowncoffee.com, enter the code word Uncle. And why is the code word Uncle? That's a pretty good question. I guess if you notice the names in the podcast, this is the first time I've done a podcast where I did two individuals at the same time. So that's pretty cool. I interviewed Ware and Jaida Garcia. Both are instrumentalists in Uncle, the punk rock band out of the Ottumwa area. And I've never seen Uncle play live, but I checked their stuff out online and I really dig it. It's available pretty much anywhere. We kind of talk about that in the podcast. We talk about how these two young ladies met, the struggle to find a complete band. That's always something that's difficult. It's never easy to find enough people to play all the music you need to play. I don't know. Everybody's been through the struggle of trying to find musicians to fill out the band, but they've been just chugging away at it. They're starting out on the scene, and they're doing a really good job. They're playing shows with bands that I've interviewed before, people that I've interviewed before. It's really cool. Hopefully we can get in touch with them and play a show with them sometime with Three Finger Betty, because I feel like the punk rock community is going strong right now in central Iowa, all the way down to the Ottumwa area. It's blowing up. I believe I saw a show coming up with, let's see here, Americature, and let me just pull that up here. I'm going to pause it for a second. All right, I'm back. I found the show. It's December 7th at Rides Bar and Grill in Fort Dodge. Check this out. It's gonna be great. It was Bain Marie. They're from the Iowa City area. I'm not 100% sure exactly where they're out of, but I know they're from that area, somewhere in the Quad Cities to Iowa City to Ottumwa area. I know that's kind of a wide berth for anybody that knows Iowa. But Americature, Hold for Swank, Whiskey Shakes, Bain Marie, that's in Fort Dodge, Iowa on December 7th. It's a Saturday. Holy cow. I guarantee you this show is going to be awesome. You know what the worst part about this show is? I've got a show in Des Moines that night, so I won't be able to make it. So if you're in Des Moines and you don't want to drive, check out that Three Finger Betty show. That's going to be a great one. Otherwise, it is heavily suggested that you check out that show in Northern Iowa featuring Americature, Hold for Swank, Whiskey Shakes, and Bain Marie. I know that there are some ties to the Fort Dodge area for a lot of those bands, and I have actually interviewed, let's see here, I've interviewed Jared Hart from Americature, and I've interviewed Alejandro Trevino from the Whiskey Shakes, and I've even interviewed Eric Nelson from Hold for Swank. He was one of the, Eric and, let's see, there it is. Jared Harp was episode 20, and Eric Nelson was episode 13. So huge shout out to those guys because, it's been a while since I've seen Hold for Swank play, and I need to get me some Hold for Swank. So if you haven't seen them yet, check it out. All those bands are going to be great. It's going to be a great show. This is a long intro, and I don't know why I'm rambling about that, but this week I'm sitting down with Ware, Jaida Garcia. They play in the band Uncle. You can find their music online. We talk about that in the upcoming podcast. We talk about all sorts of things. This was a really fun podcast. I've never met either one of these ladies. I've never even seen Uncle, but I know who they are just based on going on the internet and finding their stuff. So it's really cool. I highly suggest you check out Uncle live if you get the opportunity, and check out their music too, because it's really neat. I really enjoy it. All right, this is episode number 60, and I'm sitting down with Ware and Jaida Garcia from Uncle.
It's the Audible Farm Podcast with your host, Peter Stockdale.
All right, sitting down today with Liberty and Jaida from Uncle, the band. Where are you guys originally out of?
Ottumwa, Iowa.
Ottumwa, Iowa. What's the deal with Ottumwa lately? It seems like as of the last year or two, there's been a lot of bands coming out. Well, let me rephrase that. A lot of good bands coming out of Ottumwa.
Hell yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, we play with them. TV Cop, Doretta Oaks, stuff like that. Young Honey, he's like a SoundCloud rapper indie guy that we're friends with. We just played our EP release with him.
Oh,
we
cool.
love him. Yeah, he's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, like
totally.
What's the deal with the scene down there? It seems like I'm kind of new to the scene as of the last 3 years or so, but it seems like it's just been blowing up.
I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of musical inspiration down here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different places to play. Like, they have a lot of open mics at the Market on Main. Then there's the Eagles Club and Pallister Brothers, and there's a lot of places where you can just
totally
hang out with other musicians and such.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of inspiration down here because it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
There are a lot of meth heads and stuff. So, there's a lot to write about. A lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, I could definitely feel that for as far as the angst that a community can bring based on certain people that are in the community. It's definitely a thing.
It's a seedy place.
Yeah, I totally understand. Three Finger Betty, a lot of our songs, it seems like we're taking pot shots at people, but a lot of the people in some of our, the majority, I'd say 9 out of 10 of the people that we mention in our songs are real people that are just kind of shady people that somebody had seen out in public and wrote a song about. And I don't know. It's nothing against the people of the area and the neighborhood and stuff like that, but it's just a thing,
No, totally. We get that.
We have a couple of songs about different people.
Yeah, or just
events.
People that aren't real, that are just stereotype people. We have a song called Randy.
What's it called?
It's called Randy. We haven't recorded it yet. We just play it live, and it's just about the ideal conspiracy theorist uncle.
Oh, okay.
It's stupid.
That's hilarious.
It's a stupid song.
Everyone loves it though. It's
those are the best songs though. I feel like the songs that just kind of came right off the cuff and aren't supposed to be serious are the ones that people, it's like they know they're not supposed to be serious.
It's so goofy, and people always ask, they're like, who's that about? And it's just everyone. Literally.
That's awesome. So you guys, speaking of having songs recorded, I did hunt down your guys' new EP online. What's the name of the EP so other people can hunt it down too?
It's called You Don't Scare Me by Uncle. It's on everything, including TikTok.
Is it really on TikTok?
Yeah, it's on TikTok.
No way.
on Instagram.
Well, I guess TikTok is kind of taken over now. It's pretty weird.
Yeah,
We had to have it on there.
totally.
Yeah,
Make TikToks of our songs. Make us a meme.
Dude, that would be so awesome. I mean, I don't even have a TikTok, but I just like I follow a lot of people that either have TikTok or podcasts that talk about it and show clips from it and stuff. And it seems like a pretty wild area.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So how did you guys all run into each other originally? I'm assuming there's more to the band than just you two, right?
We've had a few bassists.
Quite a
We've
total
had
of 3 in a year.
in less than a year.
Less than a year. At first, me and Liberty went to Ottumwa together, schools, and I hated her at first. I just hated her for no reason. And then, like, in high school, we started being friends in art class.
Yeah, art class.
Yeah, and we started hanging out and going to concerts together. And she had a drum set, and I didn't even know how to play the drums. And then we're like, let's start a band. And then we made Randy. And then we added David to the group. He was our first bassist.
We love David.
We love David. We're so cool with David, but he had other intentions of being like in a metal band. He was more into that genre instead of our genre.
Yep.
So he was in a band, and I was Des Moines. And then we had Haley. That didn't end well.
We've had a lot of basses.
And
it's like Spinal Tap, you know, when all their drummers explode and shit. It's like that, but with basses.
Legit just tipped back in my chair and laughed at that one. That's good stuff. All Spinal Tap.
And now we have Salem playing for us.
Oh, sorry, go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, we just have Salem playing for us now. And he's really good.
Yeah, he just, like, comes in and knows the songs, like,
Already.
first practice, and I'm like, oh,
He's
shit,
great.
okay.
I love Salem.
Salem's great. We love Salem.
Yeah, there's nothing better than, like, trying out a new member in a band and having them show up and already know, like, all the material.
Yeah, it's just great.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
It's everything we've ever wanted.
Yeah, so to all the aspiring musicians out there, that might be something to kind of aim for. I do know that, like, when I did the Three Finger Betty tryout thing, they were just like, just come over and jam. And it was like, well, I know like 13 songs of yours already, so let's just play any of them, you know?
Hell yeah, that's good. That is good.
Yeah, it kind of takes a little pressure off the other guys because they're just like, what songs do you know? And some, I only know 2. And it's like, okay, I guess we'll play 2 songs over and over again for an hour, you know, or
Yeah.
you know, so that's kind of cool that like you guys grew up originally not necessarily being friends and then kind of found common ground through art and music.
Yeah.
Totally. It's a good time.
I started being okay with her just because she was wearing a Green Day shirt, so.
Nice.
I was like, I mean, I guess she's okay.
So, what kind of music do you guys all listen to then? Let me ask you that. Did you find common ground between the bands that you two both enjoyed?
I think so.
Yeah. A big one for us is Queen.
We love Queen. We don't sound like Queen, but we like Queen. We like Queen a lot.
MCR,
Because, you know.
And, like, a lot of punk musicians, like Fiddler, Swimmers.
All the, like, California, like, surf punk bands. Like, like Fiddler, Swimmers, Surf Curse, all that kind of, like, you know.
All that good stuff.
I love California surfy punk. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's apparent in your music actually. Like when I was listening to your EP, I could hear dashes of like certain genres coming in, but I couldn't quite nail down exactly what I would call like one specific genre for your music. So you kind of remind me a little. You remind me a little bit of like excuse me. You remind me a little bit of like the '70s female-fronted like punk-ish bands.
Hell yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Thank you.
And then you lean.
No, totally.
You lean like all the way through the genres somewhere towards like the 1990s like Garbage. Do you remember Garbage, the band? It was a female-fronted band.
I don't know them, but I'm going to look them up after this.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between there, and I can't quite put my finger on it. But it's really good stuff. So like, what would you guys lean on as like your inspiration for music?
I'm going to have to go with Fiddler, because they just look like they have so much fun on stage playing their stuff. Like, I love Fiddler with all of my fucking heart.
We're all about, like, having fun with our music. We don't care about what specific genre it's supposed to be. We're just like, here's a song.
Let's
see what we can do with it.
That's awesome.
It's just, Yeah. I just want to write stuff that's fun to play on stage, you know?
If it's fun to play, I don't want to have to, like, struggle to play a song. Like, it's incredibly hard and straining to play.
Yeah. I just want to not think about it and just get up and just have, like, a good time and make sure everybody else is having a good time. Because I think if I'm having a good time, then other people are going to have a good time. You know?
That's very noted. Geez, excuse me. So, like, if you're on stage and you're playing music and you don't look like you're having any fun, a lot of times people in the crowd will just kind of take to that, and they also don't look like they're having much fun. But if you're up on stage, and, I mean, you don't have to be, like, jumping around and throwing your guitar and have pyros and do, like, big David Lee Roth kicks and stuff, but... You know, if you're on stage and you're having a good time playing the music that you're playing, it translates really well to the audience.
Totally, and I think that's what we're trying to do. And that's why a lot of our songs, I don't think we take ourselves too seriously, like, lyric-wise. Like, a lot of the lyrics are funny, and they're meant to be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with funny lyrics or not being serious. Because I'll tell you what, like, the older you get, the less, the more you realize, like, being serious doesn't always come into your benefit. Because, I don't know, through most of my 20s, I was just like this hard-headed, like, super serious guy. And now it's just like, I don't care. It's whatever.
Totally, man. We're goofball.
That's the vibe.
That's perfect. So, like, that'd be a great, like... You guys would be a great addition to pretty much any punk show with an attitude like that, just kind of goofing off and having a good time, and that's pretty much what everybody else at a punk show is looking to do.
Hell yeah, thanks. Yeah.
So what was, like, your first show? How did you guys go about booking your first show? Let me ask you that.
Oh boy.
Our first show was actually an open mic at the Market on Main, which is this place that we have here that they have open mics, and it was terrible. It was so bad.
It was the worst. We have a video.
We
played Creep
by Radiohead.
And then Randy.
And we didn't have drums or bass. It was just Jaida singing and me, like, playing guitar really awkwardly because I was terrified.
We had boas and...
Yeah, we wore feather boas and, like, sunglasses. It was great.
Christmas time.
That's awesome. I've actually been down to the Market on Main once. It would have been about a year and a half ago, maybe. I saw the show that TV Cop named themselves TV Cop because originally they were Sports Team.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I went down to the show where they were going to announce their new name, and it was one of those deals where it was like, I was kind of close to the area. I was in Iowa City that night, and I was like, I'll just cruise over. It's only like about an hour, so cruised over and watched those guys play. That's a nice place they got there on Main.
It is, yeah, totally.
I'm sorry to break the news to you, but it's closing.
Yeah.
It's going up for sale at the end of the year.
So where's everybody going to play down there now?
Eagles.
The Eagles Club has a rock night, which is actually pretty good. They have a really good, like, sound system.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, that's always a huge benefit. It's always a huge benefit if you go to like a club or a bar or something like that and they have their own sound system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you guys ever played at a place where that doesn't have one and you had to rely on bringing your own or using another band's PA system?
Yeah, we played at, like, Palliser Brothers, which is a bar here that makes, like, draft beers, or what's it called? Craft. I can't think of the words. Craft and beers. We had to bring our own PA, and our PA sucks, and no one could hear us. That's the story.
What about Woodstock?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's always, like, the worst part
really.
about bringing your own PA, though, is, like, the fact that if somebody has, like, an in-house PA, they don't have to move. Usually it can be a pretty nice PA, but if you've got to make it portable, sometimes you end up compromising quality of sound.
Totally. And we played at Hopestock, actually, which is this festival they have here for all, like, the punk and, like, metal bands, just all the rock bands. And I think the PA broke, and then somebody had to go get one. Like, Wes from Doretta Oaks had to go get one. But apparently he didn't have a driver's license, so he was driving, and then his car ran out of gas, and it started storming really bad. Like, we thought there was going to be a tornado, and the fucking barn was going to, like, explode or some shit. Yeah. And then there was no PA for, like, an hour, and we had to leave because, like, the barn was, like, going to fall over.
Oh, man.
Oh, it was a fun day.
I remember seeing some posts from that show online. I think maybe TV Cop guys had posted some stuff about it, but that looked like a fun show.
Oh, yeah, it was
a lot of fun, yeah.
It was hot, it was fun, it was good.
Is that
slip and slide.
Oh, really? Is that like a yearly show
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
put
they
on
had
there?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how long it's been going. Probably like 10 years or something.
Yeah, they said like 10 years, and
It's fun. And they have like all the bands. And yeah.
Sounds like a good time. Where did you guys end up recording your first album? Your your EP, or maybe even your single. Where did you record the single at?
We recorded everything at Strange Bird Recording in Centerville with Travis.
Oh, cool. Was it Travis Atkinson?
Yes, that is his name.
Yes.
very nice. He did it for free. He was very kind.
Yeah, the guy is super nice. I've contacted him a couple times prior to doing Skype interviews. We were going to try and meet up and do a face-to-face interview, but now that I'm doing Skype, I might as well hit him up because it's tough for me to get down to your guys' area to enjoy your music, which is a sad state of affairs because, like I said earlier in the podcast, you guys got a lot of cool stuff going on down there.
Hell yeah.
So
I mean, I think a lot of the bands here do play in Des Moines and drive around. Like, Young Honey, I know, played yesterday in Des Moines. TV Cop plays in Iowa City all the time. So it's not hard to catch our shows, you know?
yeah. Des Moines is usually the area I spend most of my time in since, I'm in northern Iowa. And for me to drive to like Ottumwa would be, 3.5, 4 hour drive almost. So
Dang,
yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but I mean, it'd be awesome to see you guys playing in Des Moines. Have you guys played a show in Des Moines yet?
A few.
Yeah, we played a few. I'm trying to think of.
The first show ever was at Rats Underground Records.
Cool.
It was freezing cold.
Yeah, that was a fun show. It was like, I think the last one at their like brick and mortar store before they moved to like the mall or whatever.
Yeah, the entrance was through the back door.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what happened was there was no heat, okay?
Yeah.
And so it was like our first like big show and we were like super excited. And the guy, Rat, he was like gonna like not have it because there was no heat. He's like, it's freezing. We can't have a show in here. And we were begging Kobe from Astro Bastards. We were like, please, Kobe, please let us play. It's our first show. And so Kobe, I think, like bribed him like $100 to let us play. And then we got there and it was so fucking cold. I couldn't feel my limb.
Honestly, it was worth it.
It was, though. It was a really good show.
That's a fun place, though. Like I don't want to say the old Rats Underground, but yeah, like the one you guys were talking about that had the back entrance with the record store at the brick and mortar building. That was a fun place because it seemed like no matter how small the show was, there was a decent turnout.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Totally.
We had a bunch of people there, and it was like freezing cold, but people
were, I didn't tell them that there was no heat, but my friends got there and were like, it's so cold in here. I'm like, yeah, there's no heat.
They came and they stayed, though.
That's good. That's good. That always seems to be the hardest part about playing shows is, like I made a meme about it, but I didn't put it out online. So like y'all know that SpongeBob meme where it's like, I'm a head out.
Yeah.
All right. So I made one of those that was like 4 seconds after your best friend's band gets done playing. I'm a head out. It seems like that seems to be a thing quite a bit.
Yeah. That always sucks.
Yeah. What would you like? What is the? I don't know. I've always tried to find a way around that without just like calling people out on it. Just be like, stick around for the other bands, or don't come at all. Like that's not the right way to do it. What would be like the best way to do it? Because I was trying like, I don't know. When I would play shows and advertise them, it was always like, I'm playing a show with this band, but make sure you check out this band because that's why I'm going, or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
at our last show, we had a costume contest at the end. And we're like, if you want to win the fucking costume contest, you got to stay and watch all the bands.
Cool. Who won the costume? What'd they dress up as?
The thing is, no one really dressed up. So these kids in Burger King crowns won. So,
yeah, they got like a free haircut and a bucket of candy.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was the prize.
A free haircut?
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, I'm kind of lacking in the hair department. Otherwise, I'd take you up on that.
Oh, we didn't shave. We had a gift card, but it would have been funny if we like shaved their heads, I think.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better prize.
Good. That's the only hairdo I can wear these days. So I'd be game for a free head shaving.
Hell yeah.
During the show, we could work something out.
Yeah, we can work something out.
That's how we're going to get people to stay at our show.
We're going to shave their heads.
Give out free haircuts afterwards.
Shave your head.
That's awesome. So how did you guys each pick your instruments? Jada, you said you played drums, and you didn't originally know how to play drums?
No, she just had a kit and
Just laying around.
and I just like fucked around on it until I got the hang of it, and then I was actually pretty good at it, so I stuck with it.
And so you've never taken any lessons for drums, or didn't take drumming in school at all or anything?
No, I never was into band or anything like that. I tried to get Brendan from TV Cop to give me lessons, but that didn't work out very well. So then I just had to teach myself, and it worked out pretty well. Just YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's smart. I always figured like the hardest instrument to take lessons from somebody like in person would probably be drums, because they can't really like sit closely in proximity to you.
Yeah,
True.
that was the hard part.
I think drums are just hard in general. Like,
Yes.
drummers amaze me.
Yes. So like I can play your standard like AC/DC stuff or whatever, but if it gets any more intricate, I got nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, drums are wow.
Yeah.
Drums are wow.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, because like with a guitar, I mean, I've talked about it in multiple podcasts, but like if you have a guitar, you can probably play the bass. I mean, maybe not as good as like a dedicated bassist could play the bass, but like if your band is all of a sudden like sans a drummer, there's no way like the guitarist is just going to hop in and start playing drums.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean, unless you're TV Cop, like Dakota's pretty much played one of everything in that band.
Dakota's different.
They're all gods, and we love them.
They're great.
I mean, was it Jonathan Rowell from Good Devils? I mean, I knew him originally as a guitarist, but he plays drums in Good Devils.
Yeah.
So
literally everyone that's in TV Cop or has ever been in TV Cop, they're all amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
they're really good.
we
love them all, member or not.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember the first time seeing TV Cop when they were sports team. I was playing a show in Des Moines, and they were on the bill. I had something going on the next morning and had to take off like right after we were done playing. But I was like, I'll stick around just to like give these guys a big thumbs up, you know, and see what they're all about. And like 2 songs in, I was like, all right, I'm sticking around for the whole thing, you know?
yeah.
That's probably
one of our first shows was with them.
One of your first shows was actually with TV Cop?
Yeah, it was crazy because we played the open mics, and Wes from Doretta Oaks does like sound there.
Uh-huh.
So he just emailed us and was like 6 hours before the show, and was just like, hey, do you want to play tonight with Doretta Oaks and TV Cop? And we're like, yeah, sure. So then we go down there and we play with them, and the rest is history. We love TV Cop.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
I wish there was a place where we could like book a decent amount of bands to be at some sort of like maybe like all day long festival type, or maybe like afternoon into the evening, kind of just take over a venue for a few hours kind of deal. Because there's so much good talent between like what's going on in Ottumwa and what's going on in Des Moines as far as like punk music. I wish I knew more about like the Quad Cities area and Iowa City and up into like maybe even the Dubuque area. But I don't, my reach is only so far, and I can only see so many shows. But I feel like between what you guys got going on down there and what a handful of bands in the Des Moines area have going on, I feel like we could like lock arms and make a pretty decent scene out of the Iowa area.
Oh, totally. I think so too.
I would be down for that. Yeah, if there's a big show.
If we had just like a giant festival, like I would love that so much. That would be really nice.
I'd be on top of that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's do it.
Let's try and find a way to make it happen. If there's anybody out there with buckets of money listening to this right now, this might be a good hole to dump all your money into.
Exactly.
Hit us up. We'll do all the planning.
Yeah, we'll do all the like planning stuff. We just need a what's it called? A sponsor.
Yeah.
We need a sponsor.
Yeah, where's our sponsor at?
So, Liberty, you play guitar and vocals. How did you get started playing guitar?
I've played guitar since 7th grade because I'm emo and I loved My Chemical Romance, and I was like, I want to do that. So I just asked for a guitar for like my birthday, and I got one, and I got lessons, and yeah. It's not as cool a story as Jada's. Yeah.
So you
But
did.
she's amazing.
So you did take guitar lessons originally, then?
Yeah,
Do you still taking guitar lessons?
I do. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
I
Thanks. I do a lot of. What
go.
were you gonna say?
No, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say I take them from Chris Hunter. He teaches me a lot of weird stuff. Like he teaches me a lot of jazz stuff, which is like really fun.
Yes.
And I like it.
Oh man, that's
I like
sweet.
all the chords. They're weird.
I wish I had time to take guitar lessons instead of just hunting around on YouTube and trying to find what applied to what I wanted to do. Because sometimes it is nice learning something outside of your I don't know, leisure domain or whatever you're used to actually playing.
Totally. I would never have like seeked out like jazzy stuff to learn.
Yeah, but it's still like,
You know?
yeah, it's one of those cool things to, just pull it out of your back pocket and be like, check this out.
Yeah, and like Catacomb, the last track on our EP, has a lot of like influence from that. It has like a jazzy intro, and a lot of the chords are like weird like seventh chords and shit. So yeah, it has had an influence on my playing.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's just one of those things. I wish there was more areas or more places to take guitar lessons, or people that were willing to advertise that they're giving guitar lessons. There are a lot of places around. I mean, there's like BRG Music of Perry. There's handfuls of places in Des Moines. I'm sure there's a bunch in the Ottumwa and Iowa City area. I know like Stu Frondel gives guitar lessons up in I think he's in like the Cedar Rapids area. I'm not 100% sure where he lives, but he's somewhere in that Waterloo to Cedar Rapids area in there. But like I said, it's one of those things. I wish I had time to take more guitar lessons to like up my game. Unfortunately, I don't. So like, hats off to you for being one of those people that's constantly trying to work on their craft to get better, to provide something to everybody else. Because that's really what it's all about.
Totally, yeah.
So where do you guys usually play a lot of shows when you're not in the Ottumwa area? For everybody that's not local to Ottumwa, because you said you made it to Des Moines and played a handful of shows. Have you been up to Iowa City, or I know some people have played shows down in Keokuk, places like that?
We've had a few shows in Des Moines. So we've played Vaudeville Muse in like August, and we played at the Fremont in June, I think.
Cool.
And we haven't played in Iowa City yet, but on November 22nd at Gabe's in Iowa City, we will be playing with like TV Cop, Dog Dave, and the Real Zebos. So come check us out.
Nice. I just cruised over to your Facebook page. It's not an event on the Facebook page, but do you guys have like a flyer for it or something? Oh, there we go. I see it right there.
We do have a flyer. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna click interested on it right now. So,
Hell yeah.
So I did notice when I went to your Facebook page and I clicked on the events section, that event is not there. So that might be because you aren't tagged in the event. But, there is a way around it. If you guys have a computer, I can actually let you and everybody else listening right now know the secret to that. So if you
cool.
So if you go to the event page on a computer, there's a share button, and right next to it there's 3 dots. If you click on the 3 dots, there is a link that says add to page, and you can just add the event to your page.
Oh, cool.
So that's the way to get around that if somebody like doesn't tag you in a post for an event and it doesn't show up on your band page. So take note, everybody. That's a little trick from me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to have them all there in the events section instead of trying to cruise through the posts and be like,
yeah,
which one of these is a flyer and what flyer goes with what show that they posted, et cetera, et cetera.
Totally. I feel that, yeah.
So if anybody wants to check out Uncle online, you guys don't have a dedicated name. It's like Uncle dash something, 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 something. But if you Google Uncle, it's all capital letters. The picture it looks like it's you two sitting next to each other, maybe at a skate park. Does that sound right? Yeah. All right. So I'm at the right page. Cowabunga.
Totally, yes. Cowabunga.
I like your guys' banner up here too. It says Uncle Totally Rad.
Yeah, that's us. We're rad.
I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that. So
Thank you.
so if people want to check out your single that you released earlier this year, or your new EP that came out, they can listen to it anywhere, right?
Yeah, anywhere,
Practically anywhere,
So
I think.
as far as I know.
I found it on Spotify, so I know for sure it's on Spotify. I added it to a playlist.
Should be on.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Apple
Should be
Music.
on Apple Music, iTunes, TikTok, a bunch of other ones that I don't think anybody uses, but it's there if you do. So.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just found you on YouTube. As a matter of fact, you got the Uncle topic on YouTube.
Oh
there's
yeah.
all your goodies right there.
Hell yeah.
That's nice. Cool. So yeah, this stuff, it's not too hard to find if you know where to look. If nothing else, I'm going to like aggregate a nice list of like your YouTube channel and your Facebook and your Instagram and everything. I'll put it in the description section so everybody can check it out and at least hunt
hell
down
yeah.
some of your guys' material, because it's really good stuff.
Thank you.
I found your
We're
Instagram.
excited about it.
I found your Instagram page. It's uncle_the_band.
Yeah,
Yes.
all
Yep.
the other names were taken.
It's always tough trying to find that like user handle that has not been used on every platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
guys went with like uncle_the_band on Facebook, it might be taken already. So you took that on Instagram. That's always like the toughest thing I think about, like with some bands. Maybe it comes with like not knowing marketing or what it is, but it's hunting down bands' pages has not always been an easy endeavor for somebody that wants to enjoy local music.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So like, I mean, with Three Finger Betty, everything's just Three Finger Betty, except for our email account, which is like threefingerbetty@gmail.com, because for some reason somebody took Three Finger Betty at Gmail, but didn't take anything else, and I don't know why. But whoever threefingerbetty@gmail.com is, give me that email address.
Exactly. Give it up. Our email is like theuncleband@gmail.com, which is super awkward, but
The Uncle Band.
the Uncle Band.
The Uncle Band. Oh yeah, it's on your Facebook page. So like, you know, that's another
Yeah.
thing. Your Facebook page is pretty good. Your About section has a link to your Instagram, and your Instagram has a link to your YouTube. So there's a nice little trail of links there you can follow from one to the next to the next.
And the Instagram is a meme page, basically.
Dude,
honestly.
there is nothing wrong with that. And this is going to sound so ludicrous, but some of the most popular Three Finger Betty posts have literally been nothing more than just memes.
Yeah. I mean, it draws people in, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those things that gives people who are maybe or maybe not like in a band, they'll probably think it's a lot funnier if you post like band related memes or something like that, you know?
Yeah, totally. That's really what the page is. Like, especially if you go farther back, our old like show flyers were just like cursed images that we just put like information on. Like this one's just a picture of Jack Black with a stop sign, and it just has like, come to the market on Main to see us, you know? Or this guy in a Scooby-Doo costume. It's just cursed images with information.
That's awesome. You know, I do dig that. There's like multiple ways bands go about using their social media. Some of them are very, very like, I don't want to say like professional about it, and some people take a little bit more lax approach to posting things. And it's very. Oops, sorry, I had a phone call. It's very dependent on. It's very dependent on like what the band's avenue or what they're trying to do, I guess, is. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. For example, like the Audible Farm stuff is all pretty much just cut and dry. There's nothing like there to make people laugh. It's just pretty much, I'm interviewing these people. Here's their stuff. Here's all the links to everybody else's stuff. But like you said, like your guys' band page has memes and stuff, and that draws attention and gets people to giggle and enjoy what you're doing. So that, you know, that lets people know that you guys, like you said earlier, might not be taking everything, but you're not taking yourselves so seriously that you're going to get like mad about things. As far as like band-wise goes.
Yeah, we also hang up these posters, and they really do grab attention. Like, there's this one with like this nut, like this guy in a nut costume. And we just put him in like stupid places because then people see him, you know, like we'll hang him on like the milk at like Walmart or something. Or like, you know, just like stupid shit. They're on the ceiling at my high school, actually.
That's
and
awesome.
People noticed that. There's one with a rubber chicken that was hanging up at a bar for like 3 months. And we were talking to Eric. What's his last name? Garland. Eric Garland. He runs the sound at the Eagles Club for Rock Night. And he's like, yeah, that's how we heard about you guys. There was just this rubber chicken poster that said Uncle on it. And it was at this bar for like 3 months. And no one took it down. You know?
That's awesome. It's like renegade promotion.
I know. It is, totally.
It's free advertisement.
It's free advertisement.
So that's something out there. I've brought it up a few times about whether or not hanging flyers is still a thing that people do or should do or would do or could do or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But, it seems like it's working out for you.
Oh, totally.
I think in smaller areas it would work better, but I think in a big scene like Des Moines, I'm not sure how good that would do.
Yeah, and I do think the key is putting them in stupid places because, you know, who's going to look at a wall full of other flyers and, like, read them, you know?
That's very
true. But if you see something hanging on... Yeah, if you see something hanging on, like, some fucking potato chips, you're going to, like, look at that, you know what I mean? You're going to be like, who put this here? What is it?
Very true. Yeah, you're going to be a little bit more intrigued, you know. And I've tried to figure out something like that with like. Here's a weird one for you. It's like I've always wondered how promoting a band and promoting, like, let's say this podcast differ or how they are the same, and I don't think they're very much different. For example, like I've got stickers. I don't put up flyers for anything because there's not really any reason to put up flyers for a podcast. Maybe there is, but I like to just stash stickers around places. Whether or not it's like I leave them on a table somewhere, or like I go to a gas station and just like wedge one up in the on the like bulletin board they have there for like announcements and things. So. It does work pretty well. You'd be surprised how many people find that stuff and like just randomly like, dude, I found a sticker of yours. Like, what is it? You know, it's like, oh, sweet. Where'd you find the sticker? You know?
Exactly.
It's like a scavenger hunt kind of like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Scavenger.
Originally, I ran everything when I would stash stickers places as scavenger hunts. I'd just be like, I put stickers in this venue. And they're like hiding here, so if somebody wants one, go find one because they'll be gone soon. And so I used to do that with Audible Farm quite a bit. Nowadays, it's pretty much I just bring stickers with me everywhere, and I just walk up to random people. I'm like, "Hey, check this out," and they're like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a podcast. You should check it out." You know, like trying just to like.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like giving people too much information isn't a good thing though too, because if you just tell them it's like, oh, it's a podcast, I talk to musicians around the area and stuff like that, and then they're like pretty intrigued. And believe it or not, like a lot of times with this podcast, the cool thing is it's got this weird network base where, like you guys had said before the show, you found one person you knew that was on the podcast, and then before you knew it, you found another person and another person, and before you know it, sometimes people are starting to listen to people they've never heard of, finding out about bands they've never even knew existed. Maybe even bands that they could play a show with. And that's kind of all I'm trying to do, I guess, is just let everybody know about the awesome bands like you guys out there that deserve the exposure.
Yeah, totally. We love always hearing new bands, seeing new bands we can play with. Because down here, like, we have a good scene, but bands play the same shows with, like, the same 3 bands, you know, just, like, over and over. Like, it's always the same lineup. Mm-hmm. And it's always good to know the other bands you can play with, you know?
Yeah. The benefit of that, though, is like, let's say, I'm just going to like throw out a rounded off numbers to make assumptions easy. So like, let's say there's like 7 bands down there, but only 3 can play on a show. So like you said, like you got Uncle, TV Cop, Good Devils, Jaida Oaks, and I'm just throwing out a handful just from what I've seen on flyers over and over and over again. That's kind of the benefit of that, though, too, because if I'm only following TV Cop online and they're like, dude, we're playing with Uncle, like that's how I found you guys, was they played shows with you, and it was like, I don't know who Uncle is, but now I know the name because I've seen him on flyers with TV Cop a handful of different times. That's like that's the benefit of that, though, is you might know one band in the area, but you don't know the other ones, and so if they get to play multiple shows with this same set of bands, kind of helps out the exposure, I guess. You end up with like this sister band
does.
or brother band kind of situation.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like TV Cop has carried us under their wing
No, for real.
because every time they hear about Uncle, they hear about it either through like TV Cop or like
Yeah.
another big band that way. But it's always TV Cop because they're always inviting us to play shows with them ever since the beginning, and we just kind of follow them.
Yeah, they're so supportive, and we really sucked. Like, the first time we played with them, like, we weren't very good, but they still, like,
They loved us.
were nice to us and, you know, got us shows. We love them so much.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
so much.
Well, it's also important. I bet it's because they understand that like your first show might not always be your best show. Like I don't know any bands that went out and had their first show and it was like this was the greatest show ever. You know,
Yeah.
that's not saying anything against your guys' first effort because I wasn't there.
Oh,
And I
no.
don't know, so I'm only relying on like what you guys have told me. But I do have a fun story about the first time I ever played guitar live. I was in a high school band. We were playing some punk music. I think we were playing Swing Swing by the All American Rejects. We were playing for like a pre-prom or something like that. And you know, I'm a little bit older than you guys, I'm assuming. So like when I was in high school, cell phone cameras weren't necessarily like a big thing. So like people had to have those big boxy cameras with like VHS tapes in them and record stuff. And it's not quite that old. They weren't walking around with like a 1x12 combo amp on their shoulder or anything, but they still had like these big recorders with tapes in them and stuff. So like we ended up getting, after the show, a recording of it from somebody in the audience, and you can hear people laughing at us louder than you can hear us playing. So that was my
That's
first
really
show.
sad.
I mean, it's crappy, but like at the same time, you go back to high school, everybody was kind of just like brr in high school. Nobody really cared about anything.
Oh,
so,
true.
So I mean, you get it. There were some people that enjoyed it, but at the same rate, you end up with the people that were just like, "What is going on here?" Like,
Yeah.
you know, so like the first show is not always a good representation of what a band is about. And it's good that you guys went from having like this two-piece band to extrapolating it into a full band instead of just I don't know. I don't want to say like instead of just giving up but trying out that like two-person band thing is very, very tough because there's no sonic room
Yeah.
for anybody to hide in.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So
You know?
Yeah, so what would you guys say is like the most difficult part about starting a band?
Bassists.
Learning the instrument.
Learning the instrument and bassists.
Yeah.
They just don't work out for us.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. Our last bassist before Salem didn't know how to play bass.
She said she did, but then she didn't, and we had to teach her, and we had no other option, so she was just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
No.
And
Yeah, that's got to be difficult, but you know, kudos to you guys for trying though. That's something else. Like that's something else for everybody. Like if you want to be in a band, like first off, like learn the instrument and learn the parts, but like don't be scared to just go out and try because not every band is full of people that are just like, oh, we're 5 minutes in and you suck, get the hell out. You know, like bands aren't going to be like that.
Yeah. But, you know,
we were open to ideas,
we're open to ideas.
and I feel like we've improved a lot.
I hope.
Salem has been playing guitar for 10 years and played
Yeah.
bass for the past 5 years, so I think we kind of looked out with him.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
So far.
let's give a shout out to everybody in your band here before we get too far into
Oh,
this because
yeah.
we're already like 40 minutes in.
Oh, dang.
It's a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah, it's going by quick. So before we forget everybody, let's give a shout out to everybody in your band. Obviously, I'm talking with Liberty Ware and Jaida Garcia,
Yep.
guitarist and drummer, respectively. Liberty, you also sing in the band, but who else
I
you got
do.
in the band? Because is it a 4-piece, right?
3-piece.
Three-piece right now.
Yep.
Salem is the only one we're missing.
That's it.
Salem's the only one.
Oh, where's
The
Salem
bassist.
at?
I'm not sure.
Oh
We're
man!
not sure.
Lost him.
If you see Salem, if anybody sees Salem out there, please return him to his home. Oh man! So we did talk about the EP you guys recently released. Let's drop the name one more time for everybody so they can know what it
You
is.
don't, oh,
You go.
you don't scare me.
Bye, Uncle.
By Uncle. And like I said, I found it on Spotify. It's definitely there. I could bust my phone out here and look on iTunes and stuff, but I'm sure if it's on Spotify, it's everywhere else. So you guys definitely have to check that out. It's good tunes. Like I don't, and this isn't me just like pandering to you guys, but I don't feel like there is enough female-fronted either rock and roll or punk anymore. What do you guys attribute to that?
Dang, I don't know.
It wasn't even about just being female. It's just
Yeah.
a couple of kids wanted to play some instruments. We didn't even really think about it. We were just friends fucking around.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just
That's
blossomed.
true.
Yeah,
know?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's great, but it like, let me ask. I'm not trying to like drive the I don't want to say like male versus female thing here, but like it seems like if you go out and play shows, because I'm sure you guys have realized this too, playing shows, but it's ludicrously male dominated.
Yeah.
You're right.
So why aren't women
don't-
picking up instruments? Is it just
don't
like a
know.
proclivity type deal? Like some guys are just like, I'm gonna pick up a guitar and pick up chicks, and then they just like start learning guitar. Like what's what's the dealio?
It was a dealio.
I think there's a standard, like
Mm-hmm.
you don't typically see a lot of female bands, so females don't typically see themselves in bands.
That does make
Yeah.
So I feel like if there's more female bands, then other females have something to look up to and have more options.
That's
That's I guess
brilliant.
I really hadn't thought of
I like that a lot because it,
Because-
whether or not you guys realize you're doing it, you're being an inspiration for other women, be it younger or older, or I don't know. I bet there's a bunch of women that are just like basement rocking right now on their guitars that would be perfect fit
Hell yeah.
for bands that just either think they wouldn't fit in or don't know that that's an option for them.
Yeah.
It should matter as long as you can play the instrument. You should
Oh, totally.
Do it. Go for
like
it,
the music, be in the band.
So that was like
Enjoy.
one of my favorite things, and this is going to be like a little bit different, but like I listened to the band Baroness, and Baroness, their guitarist of like 12 or 15 years, left the band, and they replaced him with a female guitarist, and she's freaking amazing. And it's not like he wasn't good, but it's just one of those deals where it's like the world needs more of this. This chick is a rock star, and she's out here on the stage. And it was one of those deals where, like, if you go watch their live videos, like we were talking about earlier, like the fact that it's a female doesn't even cross your mind. It's just somebody else up there rocking. But like,
Totally.
I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things where it's just being in the scene so much, and you don't see enough female involvement in the scene. And it's awesome that you guys are out there doing this, because it's really, really refreshing. It's you guys have your own voice and your own style and your own way of doing this that makes it very refreshing, as opposed to like the testosterone driven scene of a bunch of guys trying to like secretly compete with each other,
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you. Yeah. There's a lot of bands that we listen to that are like female fronted or have like a lot of chicks in it. And I guess I just hadn't thought about it because like I listen to those bands all the time, and I guess I hadn't thought about it like in our local scene that there aren't a lot of female fronted bands here in Iowa.
I don't know if there's another female fronted that I've met
That we've
played
played with. I really, now that you're mentioning it, I hadn't really thought of it, but like, yeah, there haven't been very many girls that we've played with, which is weird to think about.
Yeah. I mean, even if you take the female fronted angle out of it, there's not even a whole lot of like female musicians in bands. Let's see here. I've seen a few in my day. Like I think, let's see here. Altar Within is a band that plays in the Des Moines area, and they've got like a female bassist and drummer in the band, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So like that kind of stuff, it's always just like, dude, this is sweet. Like it's everybody seems to take notice because it's not something that's in the normal. And then when you guys kick ass like you do, it's just like, dude, I'm gonna find these guys online. Or gals. I'm gonna find these gals online and find their uncle page. How did you come up with the name Uncle?
I think there's a lot that went into it.
I think we wrote Randy first.
Yeah, we wrote the song Randy. We didn't have a name yet. And Randy is
an uncle. Yeah.
He's an uncle.
He's the like perfect uncle. The uncle that you would have in a perfect world. The ideal uncle. You know what I'm saying?
All right, describe to me the ideal uncle.
So he's a conspiracy theorist. He's been to jail. He's crazy. He makes like his own alcohol in his basement. He lives in an RV. Like, you know what I mean? Like the perfect uncle.
Yes. Maybe not the perfect dad, but the perfect uncle.
The perfect uncle.
Yeah. And then the name, I think the name just kind of, we never changed it. It just stuck.
Yeah, we just were like, let's call it Uncle. And we were just like, okay, yeah. And now that's what our band's called.
It's a joke, and now it's for real.
I feel like that's how a lot of band names start, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I get a lot of questions about Three Finger Betty, and I joined the band after the name had happened. Like, the name was there 3 or 4 years before I even joined the band. So I don't have any attachment as to how the name got there, but I always like to speculate with people. And sometimes having a name like that is a nice, intriguing way to get people to be like, dude, what's up with your name? Like, because I always think it's kind of weird to ask a band how they got their name, because, like, every band name is pretty original to anything else that's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Or, like, let's imagine this situation. Like, you guys named your band after you wrote your first song, and it was sort of keyed in towards what your first song was about. And like, let's say you guys stay a band for another 5 to 10 years and your music transforms. You're still stuck with that uncle name that might have come with the original song. So sometimes the name is like a nice peek back into the past of the band and to see where they came from or what was in their mind when they were first starting out.
Yeah, I really like that, honestly. It's a good...
Yeah. The more like disconnected it gets from like Randy, it just will get so like weird, you know?
Yeah.
Like even now it's kind of weird with like the spooky theme. People are like, what the fuck does Uncle have to do with this? You know?
Yeah, totally. Totally. I dig that though. Like, I don't think there needs to be like some bands take everything so cut and dry where they're like, we're going to fit in this box and this box only, and we're never going to leave this box. Whereas other bands are just kind of free-forming, and that's kind of what I dig about the punk scene is punk bands seem to change over time, and what they do and how they play and the songs they write seem to change quite a bit over time. Because I don't know if it has something to do with the fact that like punk band is primarily people filled with like angst about a certain topic or whatever, but sometimes maybe that angst goes away or it like diverts into a different area and you get mad about something else and gonna write a different song about something completely different.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
you can't always be mad about the same thing.
No.
Yeah, there's so many things to be mad about.
Why just stick with one?
Exactly.
So many.
Oh, man. So we've covered your EP release that came out recently. You do have some upcoming shows. We did mention one of them. Do you have any other upcoming events?
Oh, yeah. Well, the next one, this isn't going to be out by the time like the show happens, or I can't talk. October 27th, which is tomorrow, is our next show at Mutant Slayer in Ames.
Cool.
Ames.
It's a house show. It's supposed to be the 3rd.
Oh.
The 3rd, we have a culture fair.
Culture fair at the high school, our high school, so
cool.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
We got invited to play. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's really awesome.
Course, of course, we have Gabe's. This is the 22nd.
I'm so excited.
It's our first time at Gabe's. It's going to be great.
The November 22nd, that show. I see it on your Facebook page.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have probably the last show at the market. Our last show at the market, probably.
Yep.
It's a benefit. If you bring a toy, you get in. It's for, like...
Christmas.
It's the 23rd. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
And that's what we've got booked right now.
Playing those benefit shows is a godsend. Because, I mean... Let's be honest, like benefit shows don't always draw the most people, but I also feel like benefit shows have a very high rate of mishmash of bands. It seems like, like most of the time I've ever played on any benefit shows, like this year we're doing one that's Toys for Tots, and it's got like everything from like newer metal style stuff to all the way through to like punk stuff. So you're gonna get a wide berth of an audience to at least come see what's going on. That's one of the benefits of playing those types of benefit shows, I guess, would be.
That's one of the benefits of the benefit.
Yes. Thank you for calling me out on using the same word twice in the same sentence. Defining a word using the word.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So go to the Facebook page, Uncle on Facebook. If you scroll through the posts, you'll see links to all sorts of shows coming up, past and present. Looks like you guys have been pretty busy in the past here. Do you guys have T-shirts too? Is that what I see?
Oh yeah. We just got them. We love them so much.
Nice.
T-shirts, CDs, buttons, bracelets.
Yeah, bracelets.
No stickers though, but
we're working on stickers.
Oh, that's awesome. Stickers are definitely unbeatable for the simple fact that I discussed it in a previous podcast. As of the time we're recording this, it hasn't aired yet, but I did interview, when this airs, it will be already aired, but I had talked to one of the members of the Eleanors, and that was kind of how I discovered those guys. Was they would just plaster a sticker here and there and just put one here, put one there, go into a bathroom, put one there, and I was just like, who are the Eleanors? I see their stuff everywhere. They're like, here's a sticker on this thing and here's one on that thing. And maybe that's just me because I put stickers on stuff too, so I notice. But like before I leave a bathroom, I always kind of scan the walls to see who's on the walls because the stickers on the top are usually the most active bands. And I noticed that like they had stickers everywhere, so it was kind of a fun way for them to advertise.
Totally.
Hey, you know what?
Where do you get your stickers, by the way?
I got my stickers for Audible Farm. I have a guy that does my stickers for me. If you want a recommendation for cheap stickers, there's always just about any internet site. I can't guarantee the quality of them, but if you want long-lasting stickers, places that do car vinyl wrapping are usually pretty good places. Because if you think about this, if you're going to vinyl wrap a car with a decal, how long do those decals last? They last for like ever.
Yeah.
So if you can hit up one of those places and find one that will, entertain your idea of, hey, what if you guys just printed me some stickers? That would be my recommendation to you guys, or anyone out there, I guess, would be, I know people have done it here in my hometown at a couple of the places in town, and they came out great, and usually the stickers last a long time, so it's not always the cheapest option, but for longevity, it'll be your best option. Because I've had, like, the ones I have for Audible Farm right now, I've put them on, like, coffee cups and things like that and put them through the dishwasher, like, hundreds of times. And they're still there.
Damn.
So,
yeah, those are good stickers then.
Yeah. So like hitting up, like I said, it's not going to be the cheapest, but hitting up like a car place that does vinyl wrapping might be your best bet. And that was all I looked for with those, was just like, I just want to be able to stick these somewhere and have them last, because there was nothing worse than putting a bumper sticker on your car or something, and then the first time it rains, the sticker's gone,
Yeah.
That's never good.
So you guys got stickers, you guys got other merch available at all your shows, I'm sure. It looks like, might as well give a shout out. It looks like your shirts came from Corrosive Screen Printing in Des Moines. I can say first and foremost that Corrosive Screen Printing did me very good for the Audible Farm shirts I ordered. So
yeah,
if anybody wants to, check them out. If you guys had the same experience I did, the cost was pretty low and the turnover time was very fast.
Yeah, they're the best deal we found, for sure.
Yes.
And they're really good.
I think some of that has to do with the fact that they've been attached to the music scene in the Des Moines area for so long. I know that Harpo has been in, that's one of the people that runs Corrosive. I know that, he's been busy in the music scene throughout the majority of his life. So I feel like this is a great thing. He gives back to people in the scene by having that fast turnaround time, having a low cost on shirts and things like that. You can go to the Corrosive Facebook page and hit them up if you guys need shirts. Anybody listening, that would be my recommendation based on the little shopping that I did for shirts, at least. And that's the other thing is I was really picky about the shirts I wanted, so like shout out to those guys for dealing with my pickiness. It looks like you guys went with front and back design. These are fancy shirts.
Yeah, they're cool, and I love them a lot.
The best shirt so far.
Yeah, we've had 3 shirt designs. Corrosive has done 2 of them. The other ones we did ourselves.
Nice.
DIY.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone loves them.
Well,
Well,
everyone
they did,
loved
but they're
them.
gone now.
Well,
Yeah.
if you
They
still,
said, like,
oh, go for it.
oh, you go. You go.
I was just gonna say, if you got any of those teenage vampire shirts left, you should save me one.
We will. We will. What size?
Let's see here. If it's a fitted shirt, it's an XL. But if it's not a fitted shirt, I'll take a large.
I think a large, because they seem to run pretty big.
All right.
Yeah.
So here's another thing. Like, since you guys and I don't necessarily always spend time in the same area, I haven't seen you live, and that's kind of heartbreaking. Just generally speaking, next time you're in Des Moines, you gotta let me know so I can try my damnedest to come down and watch you guys play, even if it's on a weeknight or something.
We will. I mean, tomorrow, Sunday night in Ames. I think Ames is close to Des Moines.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's only
Geography is okay.
yeah, it's only like an hour or so from where I live, so maybe I can make it down to that show. I do know I have to be in Des Moines tomorrow anyways, so that might work out. Maybe I should come check that out. That's the show at Mutant's
Yeah,
Lair,
Oh
right?
yeah, that'd be dope.
It'll be fun. We'll have your shirt ready.
Nice.
Hot ready.
It just crossed my mind just now that have you guys ever heard the Eleanors play or heard their music yet?
I think they were at a show that we played at, but I don't think I've seen them live.
But
we've met them and talked to them.
Good. I would recommend. I would definitely like to see an Uncle and Eleanor's show.
Oh, yeah.
Sometime. So anybody booking or listening, or anybody, maybe you guys can hit up the Eleanors and find a place to play a show. That would be a great show. I would totally dig on that.
Hell yeah, that would be really fun.
It's been pretty dope.
Yeah, it'd be a really good time. It looks like we've crossed an hour on our interview. I feel like we've talked about a decent amount of the stuff that we had kind of outlined to talk about. Is there anything else you want to give shout outs to people, mention anything, literally anything, I guess?
Shout out to Goosebumps for inspiring the album title.
Goosebumps.
We love you, R.L. Stein.
I was gonna say Goosebumps the book. Yeah, that's totally. Those were, man, back in the day. Those were the shit.
Iconic.
Yeah, I mean,
They really were.
I read so many of those, and I don't know. I remember my sister always had a bunch of those books, and I'd always just snag the ones that looked the most interesting and read them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Shout out to Goosebumps.
Shout out to Goosebumps and R.L. Stein, inspiring people everywhere. So for everybody listening, go check out Uncle the Band. They're gonna be playing shows live around the Iowa area. As of the time this is released, we will have missed that show on the 27th in October at Ames, but I might be able to swing down to that one and check it out. It looks like you're playing with the newly reformed and renamed Monsoon Lagoon and the Pontoon Platoon.
We love them. Woo!
Oh man, I got to play a show with Kobe with the Astro Bastards. I've played a handful of shows with them, and we even brought them up. I'm from a small town named Humboldt, and we took a booking in Humboldt and brought those guys up. They were always so much fun to watch play. So I'm assuming Monsoon Lagoon and the Pontoon Platoon is going to be no different.
Oh yeah. Last time we saw them was the show at Rats, and I remember that our friend Brandon Kobe drop kicked Brandon during one of their songs, and it was good. It was
yeah.
really
They
funny.
go hard.
Dude, yeah, Kobe. I watched Kobe drop kick a guy off the stage at Lefties, and the guy was like 6'4", 250 pound, like huge dude, like holding beer and everything.
Fuck yeah.
Kobe just jumps off the
I
stage
love
and drop
that
kicks
so
him.
much.
It's so much fun. I mean, obviously the song is called "Drop Kicked" by Jesus. That was the song that was playing when he's drop
So
kicking
they
people.
have to.
Yeah, so he has to. He has to. You know, it's
It is an obligation.
it's mandated. You know?
Like, there are rules.
Yes. ASCAP and BMI came down and they said, this guy has to kick people.
He has to.
He was born to.
Oh, man.
It would honestly be an honor to get kicked by Kobe.
Kobe, if you're listening,
I'm gonna
Kick me tomorrow.
The next show I go to, I'm going to go in full riot gear just in case he does kick me. Oh man, this has been a great talk with you guys. If anybody joined in halfway or wasn't listening at the beginning, I've been sitting down talking with Ware and Jaida Garcia from the band Uncle. You guys are located in the Ottumwa area of Iowa, and you're playing shows everywhere from Iowa City through Ottumwa to Des Moines. Sounds about right?
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah! Go
Anywhere else would still take us.
Let's do it. Anybody else listening that wants an awesome punk band that somehow transcends the genre of what female punk is, it's worth it. So check out Uncle online, give them a like, go to their Facebook page, their Instagram, check out the songs on YouTube. You can check them out on Spotify. I'm sure everything's on iTunes and Google Play and everywhere else you want. Heck, maybe even ask your Alexa to play some Uncle. Maybe Alexa will play Uncle. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Has anybody tried that yet? Maybe somebody should try that and let us know how that works.
I tried to like Shazam one of our songs and that didn't work.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
but
yet.
Hopefully. We'll see.
So I just want to say thanks, guys, for taking some time out of your day to do a Skype cast with me, because it's one of the toughest parts about doing this podcast is meeting up with people. And, since there's several hundred miles in between us, it only made sense to do one of these types of interviews. So hopefully I will get the opportunity to see you guys live soon, and maybe we can even get a little podcast done face-to-face sometime.
That would be awesome. We had so much fun doing this. We would love to do it again.
Well, good. I'm looking forward to what you guys have coming up in the future as far as music and things like that. I'm going to be jamming on your guys' tunes for a while now. So thank you guys very much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm going to get in contact with you here after I hang up, but thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good day, guys.
Later.
You too.
Oh, yeah, that was a good episode. Never met either one of those ladies. You guys listened to me talking to them for the first time. I'm serious. Go check their music out. It's really fun. It's online. They're from the Ottumwa area. There's a strong scene over in the Ottumwa area, like I mentioned in the intro, like all the way up to Iowa City, and it's starting to bleed into the Quad Cities areas. Those bands are starting to make their way over to Des Moines and even up north into the Fort Dodge area, as I mentioned in the intro. So check it out. Their music is in the links below. Go find them on Facebook. Give them a like and the whole 9 yards. It's a great band, a couple of great gals. I really enjoyed the podcast. It was a fun experience trying to do an interview with two people at once. I'm kind of just branching out and just letting myself have no limits here. Now, for a long time, I wanted to just do one-on-one interviews, and I wanted to try to do it with people that I was at least slightly familiar with, and lately I've been fielding a lot of requests to interview people that I don't have the slightest clue who they are, but the way they describe what they're doing kind of intrigues me. So I want to maybe in the near future, I'm going to be talking to some people on Skype that I haven't met before, that are from music scenes that I have no clue even existed, or that ones I don't have much of a frame of reference on. So it might help out with people listening in, finding new people, new kinds of music, getting a new perspective on something, either based on a completely different style of music than we're all used to listening to, or whatever. It's I'm just going to kind of start doing whatever, I guess. First it was Skype podcasts, and now I'm talking to people that I've never met before over Skype, and they just send me music, and I sit there and listen to it for a few days, and it's just like, dang, this stuff's pretty good. For example, the Uncle stuff. So that's on Spotify. There is a Spotify playlist I made. It's called like Audible Farm, Iowa Punk, I believe. I'm pretty sure I tossed their music into that playlist. So that's a place you can go if you're on Spotify. Don't forget to check out Audible Farm on YouTube. Subscribe there. All the podcasts are there, as well as any streaming service. Check out the website. Through a streaming service on there for Audible Farm, for SoundCloud if you want to listen to audio from SoundCloud. Some people are diehard YouTubers, so I did throw a YouTube streaming link on there as well. If you want to go to the website, there's also links to everything Audible Farm. You got the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I mean the whole 9 yards. We've pretty much got one of every account. We're available on the very biggest ones, for example, like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Those were going to be the ones. I think there's like a Reddit account I created back in the day. There's pretty much one of everything I tried to create for Audible Farm just to see what was going to stick where. So check us out on the website. You can find links to all of the major platforms there, as well as streaming services. There are all sorts of things there. On the bottom there is actually a form you can fill out, and it's like a little contact us form, and that will get you in touch with us, and we can maybe set up a Skype interview, or even cooler, we can set up a face-to-face interview. I do a little bit of traveling around the state, either for my job or for school, as well as a couple bands I have played. So check that out. You can hit me up. Maybe we can do a little interview. Speaking of traveling, I recently played a show with Unity in Illinois at Armageddon Fest 2019. It was a great show. Unity's a metal band. I posted some links to the videos on I guess I posted it pretty much everywhere. They're on Twitter and Facebook. Shared them on the Audible Farm accounts, at Audible Farm. So check those out. If you want a link to the YouTube page, go to the website, www.audiblefarm.com. There will be a link to YouTube. You can go there and subscribe so you can never miss another podcast again. I'm going to check out for this week. It's kind of early in the morning, and I'm doing some recording here. So I got stuff to do. I got to take off, everybody. So I'll check y'all next week. Thanks, Uncle, for joining me. Peace.